Hello everybody, my name is Vinayagaswamy, working as Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, V.S.B Engineering College, Karur. Now, I'm going to discuss about course details about program in Python. So, in this, first of all, let me share the PPT so that we can go ahead. So here it goes. So here it is. Programming in Python. So, first of all, course introduction. So, in this subject, we are going to deal with Python programming. In the first unit, we are going to discuss about problem solving and logical thinking. First of all, in that, we are supposed to understand what is problem solving as well as problem definition. Then there onwards, we should think of the solution. So, a student or a person who doesn't have a prior knowledge about the programming can also learn this. So, which is a Python is a simple one and as well as structured programming language. So, why to learn Python programming? So, and where it can be applied. So, learning Python is very easy to understand. Unlike C and C++ programming, it is very simple as well as which is structured programming languages and code are very limited one. So, which is popularly used and which is used in different methodologies. So, which supports problem solving method. So, that's what I told you before only, which is used for the problem solving and logical building. When logical building comes into the point, so here some of the mathematical points as well as some of the points which is related to the problem solving techniques will also come under this. And the very next one is, so which is related to the data science and as well as artificial intelligence nowadays. So artificial intelligence is in boom now. So in this course, which is divided into 5 units. So here it goes. So unit 1, computational thinking and problem solving is the first unit. Second unit is data types as well as expressions. Third unit is something called as control flow, functions as well as strings. And the fourth unit is list, tuples and dictionaries. These are the compound data types. And the last unit which deals with the files, file models as well as file exceptions. So whenever it comes to the first unit, that is computational thinking and problem solving techniques. So in this, we are going to discuss about, first of all, understanding the computational thinking, as well as next one is identifying and analyzing different problems. First of all, when problem comes into the picture, so we are supposed to analyze and we are supposed to define the problem first. And there onwards, we have to look after the solution for it. So, and next step is analyzing the problem. So that is what I told you, defining and analyzing the problem. And the next to that is designing a step-by-step algorithm to solve that problem. So what are all the different representations which can be used to solve that problem, which comes under problem solving techniques. So here it goes. The first one is pseudocode, flowchart, and the last one is algorithm. So this we will be discussing in depth in the upcoming slides and as well as in the upcoming videos. So unit 2 deals with the different data types as well as expressions. So whenever it comes to the data types, so there are two types of data types. One is primitive data type and the next one is compound data types that will be dealt in the unit 2. So, and the next one is Python has two different modes. The first one is interactive mode and interpreter mode. Interactive mode is one which is starting with the 3 arrow heads. So where you will enter the expression and you will get the output in the next line only. Whereas in interpreter mode, so it is something like ideally, which is called as interactive development learning so environment, where we'll write a whole code and we will start executing it. So for that, another ideally which is being used as I have told you. So next one is data types. As I told you that data types are two different. So first one is primitive data types as well as compound data type. In primitive data types, which comes under numerical data, which is those are integers, float, double, all this comes under this. String data types, character, string is the one which is related to the characters and set of character is known as a string. So that is string which is related to the word or a name or a city name, whatever it can be told. And the last three one are compound data types, which I have already told you, list, tuple and dictionary. List, tuple and dictionary are, so the compound data types which are group of elements which are stored in a, either in a parenthesis or in a curved braces as well as in a square bracket. So those are all about the data types. And then very next to that, we will be discussing about the variables. So different variables which are being stored in a program. So that will be subjected to change the values as well as statement, which are being, a statement is a, so it is a mixture of both data types, expression as well as variables. So this is all about the unit 2. And the last one is basics of writing the programs. So that's what I told you. So where you can write the program in an interactive mode as well as in interpreter mode, as I told you, where ideally is being used, where you will write the whole program and you will start executing the program. So there it will be used. In unit 3, we will be discussing about the control flow as well as functions. Different functions we are making use of control flow. So what are control flows? So some of the control flows are conditional statements, looping statements which are being used. So some of the conditional statements which are known as, so if else, else if else, ladder. So this is the conditional statement which are being used. So whereas looping statements are three types: while, do while, as well as for loop. So that we will be discussing in depth in the upcoming videos. So, and the functions which are being used, there are two types of functions. One is inbuilt function and UD stands for user defined functions. So inbuilt functions are nothing but, so print statement is there. So where you are going to get the output, print statement, that is print function it is called as. And user defined functions can also be used, which user is going to write a set of code which is being saved in a place and that will be called again and again and again. whenever it is, as long as it is necessary to call, that will be saved. And the last one is function, which is different kind of function called as recursive function. A recursive function is nothing but a function which call itself, where in certain situations you are supposed to call the same functions by itself. So for example, when it comes to the mathematical calculations like factorial, what factorial is? Factorial of a number, so n factorial, which is mathematically represented like somewhat like this: n into n minus 1 factorial, n factorial into n minus 1 factorial. So that will be done where a number will be called again and again, and it will be saved and it will be called by itself. That type of functions are called as recursive functions. And in unit 4, we will be discussing about list, tuple, and dictionary. That's what I told you before that. So these are all the compound data types. So we will be dealing in depth about list, tuple, as well as dictionary in this unit, 4th unit. So where list as well as list related operations, list slice will come. So list modification will come. So these are all the different operations which are dealt on it, and set of instructions. So a set of variables which are stored within the brackets. Next one is tuple and immutability of a tuple. So when it compares to list are mutable data types. That is, once a data is being stored, that can be changed. Whereas tuple, so it is a immutable data type. That means, so a tuple data which is being stored in a bracket or a parenthesis, that cannot be changed again. That is the meaning of immutability. And the next data type is dictionary data type, which is a key pair value. What means to say that a key value pairs. It is a combination of key value as well as its value. So for example, if you want to store any data in a tabular form, so instead of that, you can store the same thing in a dictionary data types. How? The first one is, for example, if we want to store any student data, student name, so name of the student. As well. Next one is student number. What is the number of corresponding US register number of a student? And semester, which semester he belongs to or she belongs to. That can be a combination of key value pairs. That is the meaning of this. And such kind of data which are being stored in a dictionary, which are being stored in a flower bracket. That is what dictionary means. So these three are the compound data types which are going to deal in depth in the 4th unit. And the last one is data organization, where it comes all the data which are now being stored. How you are going to organize these data and how you are going to manage these data which is now being stored. So that will be dealing in this unit. And the very last unit, which is called as files, modules, and exceptions. So here we are going to deal with related terms which are related to the files, file storage, file handling methods. So different file handling methods are reading the file, writing into the file, to write into the, so to read from the file, something has to be written in a file first of all. Unless and until if you write something in a file, you just cannot read anything. It will be an empty file. So first of all, we are supposed to open a file. So where I have left that, open a file, read a file, as well as write a file. So first of all, we are supposed to open a file, then we are supposed to enter the data into it, then only it is possible to read. So that will comes under file handling. And the next one is exception handling. What are exceptions? First of all, we are supposed to understand any error which is being generated at the time of execution are known as exception. and these type of exceptions can be caught. It can be so generally handled in this unit. So for that, different methods are being used that we will be discussing in the upcoming videos. Next one is, in this unit, we are going to discuss about some of the modules as well as packages. First of all, we are supposed to understand what module is. So as I have told you before that, functions. Function, what function is? Function is a set of instructions which is being stored in a place and it is being called again and again. So it is called as function. A set of function is known as module, and set of module is called as package. That is how it is going to be built. So I repeat again, a function. When you define a function or inbuilt function or user defined function, so when a defined function is being defined and it will be called, or these kind of different set of functions are known as modules, and cumulation of the modules are known as packages, that we will be discussing in this unit, that is last unit. And the very last point which I am going to discuss about is writing a structured Python programs. So after completion of all these 5 units, we are supposed to, or a student supposed to understand, students are supposed to write the program in a better way. That is what it is going to be dealt. So here, course outcome, whenever it comes to the, when after the completion of this course, end of the semester, what students are able to do. So here are the points which are supposed to, students are supposed to handle. First one is think logically and analytical about the problem. That is what I told you in the beginning. First unit deals with the problem solving technique before problem solving setting. So first of all, we are supposed to understand define what the problem is. After defining the problem, then we are supposed to analyze the problem and we are supposed to understand how exactly it is being dealt, problem solving techniques, and solving these by step, designing the algorithm as well as flow chart. Pseudocode comes under this. So, and writing the program with a confidence. That's what I told you. These are all the points to be generated or it can be done. So, throughout this course, and here will be the end of the, I'm going to end the session for today now. So if you want any queries, you can chat with me and you can give question in a group or in a channel, and subscribe for a channel as well as subscribe the YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Let us meet again.